Hey guys, it's Chris, and welcome to the Toned and Toneful video podcast, episode number 21. Say what you need to say, do what you need to do. Before we get started, I wanted to thank you guys for checking out all my different formats of the Toned and Toneful. It's been very uplifting to be able to do different formats and try out different things and see what works really great for you guys. I kind of miss doing these longer format videos because something about being able to talk to you guys longer than a minute means a lot to me. It means an obscene amount to me, actually. It's really a positive part of my week. I really look forward to coming up with the subjects and doing these all the time. So I just wanted to say thank you to you guys right off the top. So this last month, it was my birthday. It's November. And so I've come into contact with a lot of friends who I might not see all the time, or I might talk to people who sometimes, there's friends who they hit you up on your birthday and they have really good intentions for you and they mean to hit you up all year. But life is busy. Once you start getting in that mid-20s to your 30s, you start realizing, wow, I have so much to do. It's not as easy to keep up with friends, even if they're extremely close to you. So I'm guilty of this myself. There's times where I'm wishing someone Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday and thinking, wow, I haven't talked to that person since the last holiday. But I've seen a lot of their posts on the internet and I've seen a lot of what they've been doing. So I feel like I know what's going on with them. But feeling like what you know what's going on with somebody and actually knowing are two different things. And so the reason that this episode is called Say What You Need to Say, Do What You Need to Do is kind of an ode to the friends that we have and the people that we love in our life that we need to be putting more into them. Say what you need to say, first off, is because while we might be saying happy birthday or Merry Christmas or talking to them on, a special day for them, it's really important to be there for those close friends of yours throughout every step they make and keeping that bridge connected and keeping you guys close together. It's so special when you're able to go and look back and go, wow, I talked to them through the whole process of them writing this new song, or I talked to them through this whole process of them learning something new while they were working on it and it was difficult for them and I was a person they could speak to and talk to about those different subjects. That's very, very heartfelt from a friend. And I believe that in today's day and age where we have the ability to just jump on our phone and we can see what someone's doing, we can jump on the computer and be like, all right, cool, I can see their new YouTube video. To take the moment to sit there and comment, to take the moment to sit there and personally message them and go, hey, I noticed that you're writing this new song. How is it going? Hey, I noticed that you've been working on this other thing. Is that really cool for you, or how do you feel about it? To be the kind of person who can show up for your friends and for your family in a way that is dynamic and in a way that allows you to connect with them truly. Because those in the moment moments, the small things, are where we really actually bond as people. I mean, we can be there for the big days like a birthday party again, or we can be there to wish a happy new year, or we can be there for the, the anniversary of the wedding or, them having their first kid. But did you talk to them through the pregnancy? Did you talk to your friend while they were preparing to have that child? Did you talk to your friend while they worked on the wedding? Did you make the effort to be someone who tried to make some of those things easier for them? These are all questions that I ask myself a lot when I look at what has happened later, especially with friends, and keeping that bridge connected, keeping it built. So when I'm saying say what you need to say, it's multiple things. If you feel that you want to comment on something, like you're passing by a friend's page and you're like, whoa, they put out this new post and it sounds really good, and you just like it. And you're like, all right. And they're getting likes and they're getting comments. That's great. But is there a comment from you? Is there something coming from you that goes over to them that allows them to feel your presence and feel how you actually felt about what they're doing, or your engagement or your reaction to what they're doing? This is such an important thing. To be able to connect with people who are very important to you on a constant and very personal level is something that keeps us connected. And I know a lot of people out there are like, well, I don't have many real friends, or I don't have many real people in my life. Everyone's fake. Everyone's this. That could be true. Maybe everyone's fake. Maybe you're surrounding yourself with a lot of morally not the best people, or in their soul level, they're not very connected to anyone or anything. That could very well be the case. But I have a question for the individual, their self too, which is you, is have you been reaching out yourself? Have you been putting yourself out there to tell someone, hey, I miss you. Hey, you're really awesome. Whoa, dude, like, I can't believe you played that on that post. Or, hey, like, your kid is so smart. Like, I can't believe that you're able to teach your kid to do all these things. I wasn't even able to do that when I was X age. And those things are all really part of the connecting pattern of people. We're all supposed to communicate and build with each other on the ideas that we have to our reactions of each other and on the idea of how we feel about each other. So that person having more confidence in you feeling really good about them is also your confidence in the bridge and the connection to them and building that chain. I know a lot of people will say like, oh, well, I'm not going to build somebody up if they don't talk to me first, or, you know, it's really hard for me. I feel shy and nervous. But I've been learning something this last month. I've seen a few friends who are very important to me over this past month. And every time I've seen them, I've been making a very conscious effort to tell them I love them and how important they are to me. And that could be someone who I haven't seen in a long time and I was able to see a concert. That could be someone who I just met for the first time and we became friends so quickly. And I just want them to know that I love their energy and I love them as a person. And that's really, really important. And I've noticed how much further and how much better my life feels now. Especially, I just turned 36 this last year. So I'm getting a little bit, we're getting towards 40, man. We're starting to kind of realize our mortality and realize, things can go wrong and I could easily be gone at any moment. And that's nothing I hope for. But if I was gone, I'd want every one of those people to be very sure about how I felt about them. Even if it wasn't as strongly as I felt, to tell them that I care about them, to tell them that I miss them, to tell them that I love them. That is such an important thing for me. And that's why I've been very thoughtful on the sense of like saying what I feel inside, because life is way too short for me to hold that in. And part of it is a little bit selfish, maybe even, because the benefit of me letting my love out into the world is going to make me feel a little bit better, even if that doesn't pan out for me in whatever way I'm hoping. Even if it's like a romantic interest that I have and I tell them I love them and they say nothing to me, I would have rather have said that than let the moment pass by where they don't know that I cared. Because my vulnerability isn't what makes me weak. What would make me personally weak, I feel like, is to be the kind of person who would hide how I felt and hide what I was thinking instead of being the person who could approach who I am and just be there with my feelings and say it. And that is so important. And the second part that I wanted to bring up is do what you need to do. Do you need to figure out a way to see your friend? Do you need to figure out a way to go somewhere to do something? Are you doing everything in your power to like try to do that? Like if you say you're trying to see a friend and it's been tough. I have a couple of friends who live far away and they're very, very important to me, but they're not close. As I keep going through time and I see what they're doing and I'm telling them, hey, I love you, I miss you, I want to see you, blah, blah. The second part of that is, am I doing what it takes to actually try to get to them? Even if that's saying, hey, like you could fly out to my house and stay here and I'll provide you with somewhere to lay down and somewhere to be and you don't have to pay for a hotel and we can hang out and do stuff for a few days. Or is that me figuring out how to rent a car and get over there? Or is that me figuring out my own flight and trying to get out there? Is that me going to my job and going, hey, I need some time off work so I can figure out how to be there with those people that I love? And it's very easy to let time pass by and to tell yourself every day, oh, I'm so busy. And if they knew how busy I was, they would understand. Or if they knew kind of what was going on, that I couldn't make it out there, that it is what it is. And I'm starting to realize every day that I get older and every day I try to gain more wisdom. I'm not saying I do, but I try to, because I'm guilty as hell of this. Like I'm guilty of not being able to get to where I need to get sometimes and do what I need to do. And I'm realizing now that it is so important that we make the effort to do what we need to do as well. If we want to record that song and we want to work with somebody, get it done. You might have a million stresses going on in your life. You might have the one day you decided to record it, you have a really bad headache. What do you need to do to get over that headache? Have you been doing what it takes to feel your best and doing what it takes to make sure that you could get that thing done that day? And yes, sometimes we are going to run into situations where there's nothing we could do. There's nothing that could have been done to make it any better, that we can feel better about a situation, but doing what we need to do is keeping up with it. It could be as simple as saying, hey, I was going to meet up with somebody, and then you're not that person 40 minutes before trying to cancel the plans. I'm starting to realize that our whole life can change if we say what we need to say and do what we need to do. We can be in the places that we truly belong. We could be talking and spending time with the people that we truly care about, instead of those people moving on and finding other friends and finding other people who can say what they need to say and can do what they need to do. You are probably part of those people as well. But we got to be on top of our communication, and we got to be on top of how we come across to these people, because it's very easy to let a friend slip away. I mean, again, a friend lives far away. If you're not telling them constantly, I admire your playing, I admire who you are, like I admire what's going on, or I admire this that you're doing, or I admire that you're doing, and hey dude, like the way that you go about this, or hey, the way that you're trying to do that, it inspires the hell out of me. It makes me feel great. It makes me wish that I was doing something else, or it makes me wish I was working harder on my music or my biking or my bodybuilding, or it doesn't really matter. The subject could be anything. But what I'm really trying to get across is that the bridges that we build, let's build them. And just like the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, there's like a team of people who take care of that bridge. And it's kind of nuts because you think, oh, they paint the whole bridge, and because it's over salt water, by the time that they're done like dealing with just like painting the bridge one time, there's another whole group of people starting maintenance on the other side once again. So there's never not a point in time where if we're doing what we care about, that there's not maintenance, that there's not an upkeep to what we're doing. Just because we have a friend doesn't mean that person's like, like a little army toy that we can hold in our pocket and it's like, oh, I can pull them out whenever I want. People are not like that. We have to keep our connection to them, and we have to keep our energy towards them just as much as we keep our energy within ourselves. And that's how we build our spiritual circle, our mental circle, our tribe. Now, I'm not saying that like every person you tell them how you feel or you do what you need to do, that just works out. If something doesn't work out a bunch of times and you're saying what you need to say and doing what you need to do, then you can tell that person might not be on the same level with you with where they're going. And that's okay. But how much worse of a feeling is it to know that there could have been something and you never really put the effort towards it? You never really put the energy towards it. That's like the most devastating of all things, is living with really crazy regret. So funneling in on like who means something to you and the people who do matter to you, and finding the energies in this world that you're like, wow, I just connect with that. Like that person, the way they talk or the way they move or the way they treat other people, like it teaches me something every time, or it makes me feel good every time, or it gives me a comparison for myself to work on so that I can become the best person that I want to be, because just living just for the sake of living is great. But living with a sense of purpose and building with those around you who are in your tribe, I can't even begin to tell you how infinitely powerful that is. And over this last month, I've been discovering that more and more and more. And honestly, I've been discovering it since the beginning of Toned and Toneful, because Toned and Toneful has allowed me to reach out to people, and it's allowed people to reach back to me and just talk to me about how they're feeling, about how they're doing, about how they feel about, for me, I don't do caffeine anymore, but I've talked to several other individuals who are like, hey, I'm not going to do caffeine anymore. And almost every person that I work with closely at my job, all those who are around me, they all stopped drinking coffee. And it's not about having an influence on them. That's not what the point of it was. It was that I was able to give them something that they saw could be useful, they saw could be good for them, and they tried it out. And guess what? It made their life better. And we can connect on that. And then the next time they feel confident about something that can make my life better, I've noticed that they've told me more. That has been a situation that they could come to me and go, hey, Chris, you're dealing with this. Why don't you try that? Hey, Chris, you're dealing with this. How about you try this? Hey, Chris, Tone and Toneful, some of the episodes are long. Why don't you try making some shorter ones? Why don't you try doing this? And so I'm experimenting and I'm being able to give my life a different spin. And for me to be able to do things in the way that works for me and the way that like it connects with you guys is infinitely powerful. It is something that I would never take back. That experimentation, that collaboration, and the fact that when we're living life together, we're laughing together because we're so mentally on point with knowing that we're open with each other and that we're vulnerable with each other. That vulnerability doesn't feel like weakness anymore. That vulnerability feels like actually a connection point and a strength, because when I know where someone else is vulnerable, I'll protect them there. When someone else knows where I'm vulnerable, I've been noticing they've been protecting me there. If they know a certain type of information kind of hurts me, they'll still tell me, but they find ways to make it better. Or if someone knows that someone's like out to get me, they'll look out for me. So remember, say what you need to say and do what you need to do, because this is the best way that we can build around us. We can find our tribe. We can find the people who we are looking to build our world with, and we can function in harmony with ourselves, but with them. Because once we find who we can honestly be and who we can be around, and we can just not hold things inside, the true honesty is out. And then now you're allowed to live so free. If you tell someone you love them and they don't say anything back to you or they don't feel the same way, it's okay. But it's in the air now. You're not walking around forever going like, oh, do they know I love them, or do they know I care? No, you put it out there. If you tell someone that they're really good at something, that could make them more conceited and they could think they're better than you. But at the same note, that could open them up to be actually like, hey, you're really good at these things too. Wow, I never thought you'd think I was good at something. So this level of connection is hyper important. And I'm starting to realize that for a lot of my life, I felt so scared to say what I needed to say because I was worried that I'd be rejected, or I'd be worried that it wouldn't come out right, or I'd worry that that put someone in a position that they thought they were like above me or they were like below me. It doesn't matter. It just like, it would not connect. That's what I was worried about. That's mostly what we're all worried about, is that it won't connect. And what I'm going to say here is that take the chance. Take the chance to rather not connect and mess up than be the kind of person who would not take the chance at all and lose all your chances for connection and lose all your chances to have what you deserve around you in life. Because remember that when you tell somebody, hey, you make me feel great, or hey, you're doing this really good, remember that they already made you feel good by doing what they do. And if you tell them and they don't respond to it, it's okay, because you could still love that song. You could still love their effort. You can still love their talent. You can just still care about them as a person and not be offended that maybe mentally they're somewhere else or they're not on the same page. Maybe they're dealing with their own version of not being able to say what they need to say and do what they need to do. And you opening up might actually put some thought in their head and actually might put something in them that they might be like, you know what can I do? So I really want to thank you guys for always sticking with me in Toned and Toneful and checking out the different variations of what the Toned and Toneful video podcast is, whether it's a short guitar lesson or whether that's a long-winded video like this where I'm talking about something that means a lot to me. And it's a place where it's safe to discuss what we think. It's safe to discuss what we feel. I want Toned and Toneful to be a spot for everybody to become more toned in their physique and become more toneful in their harmony of their mind, body, soul, and music. I mean, it always starts from like the music standpoint, but music is a part of everything. Rhythm is a part of everything. Harmony is a part of everything. And it would be silly for me to deny that I'm not inspired by everything in life. It'd be silly for me to deny that, because every single little thing in life could inspire me. It could be a weightlifter lifting a weight a certain way, and I'm like, wow, I want my guitar playing to sound like that. Or it could be as simple as a leaf falling down and you're like, I want to be as gracious as that. And one's nature and one's a person making an effort. Another thing could actually literally be a song where someone's doing a melodic motif and you're like, wow, I want to include a motif like that in my song one day. So I just want to say to you guys that Toned and Toneful is a safe space for you guys. Please feel free to comment. Please feel free to let me know what you're thinking. And I will be the same to you guys, because you guys mean a ton to me. Being able to make these videos and talk with you all is one of the things that highlights my existence, because one day, like if anything were to happen for me, I know a lot of people could look back on these and go, whoa, that guy really put the effort into those. That guy really, that guy really put his thoughts out there. And in my music, I'll be there. And in my performance of weightlifting, I'll be there. And in the way that I bicycle, in the way that I do anything I do, I'll be there. But at the same time, I want to be there with you guys. With the people who I've told you I love you in the last month, I love you dearly. For all the people who I've told you that I miss you in the last month, I miss you dearly. And for all the people who that I've been kind of working on, projects with, just know that working with you is one of the greatest parts of what I get to do. Because that is sharing. That is what I'm here to do. I'm here to share with you guys. I'm here to communicate with you guys. And I'm here to build with you guys. I love hearing the stories about people having Tone and Toneful help them. And I love hearing the stories about people telling me that Tone and Toneful has been able to be a place where they can watch it every week and pull out their cup of coffee and be there. And I just want to thank you guys for, again, staying with me through every iteration of this show, every iteration of this video podcast. And I'm still working on trying to get everything perfect, but I'm a busy guy, but at the same time, I need to do what I need to do. Might be a couple late nights here and there, but I'm looking forward to making this more purposeful than ever. And I'm looking forward to giving you guys more and more output from Toned and Toneful. So I just wanted to say thank you guys. I really hope you all have a great week. And remember, above all, stay toned and toneful.